So how's it going so far? Learning a few things? There's so much to learn about Excel. I don't even think Microsoft knows everything there is to know about Excel. That's why we have to exercise the 7 habits of highly effective people. Specifically, habit number 6, synergize. So let's synergize, help each other out. I would be so happy to assist you in any way that I can, so feel free to start a discussion or message me directly, and it would be my pleasure to assist you. There's so much more to Excel. Check it out. Aloha. Now you're looking at this ribbon and saying to yourself, there's got to be more options. And you're right. There are more options. Let's take a closer look at these groups. For example, let's look at the alignment group, the numbers group, and the styles group. If you look closely at the alignment group and the numbers group, you'll notice that there's this little arrow. Well, that little arrow is not on the styles group. What the arrow is telling us is that we have more options. So because we don't see an arrow, in other words, we don't see a dialog box launcher next to the styles group, that tells us that there's no more options in the styles group. When you hover over the dialog box launcher, it gives you a little pop-up, a little preview of the dialog box that it's going to launch. And when I click on the dialog box launcher for the numbers group, it launches the Format Cells dialog box to the numbers tab. Now, if I click on the dialog box launcher in the alignment group, it launches the Format Cells dialog box to the alignment tab. In addition to the dialog box launcher, we can see that we have what's called the formula bar. And the formula bar simply displays the contents of a cell. When I look at the name box, the name box is telling me that my marquee is on cell A1. Now notice, I'm going to put the marquee on cell A3. And I look at the name box, and the name box tells me that my marquee is on A3. And the formula bar shows me that the contents of A3 are the numbers 3, 2, 1. On cell A4, where my marquee is now, I'm going to insert a simple sum function. I'm pressing the shortcut Alt equal, and that puts in the sum function, and I'm pressing enter. When I click on cell A4, I see the name box tells me I'm in A4, and the formula bar gives me the contents of cell A4. And it turns out that in cell A4, I have a formula. It's the sum of A1 through A3. So what we're seeing on cell A4, what's being displayed, the 1,411, well, that's the result of the sum of A1 through A3. So what we're seeing right now in A4 is called a value. What's actually in that cell is a formula. Another way to see what's inside of your cells is just double click on the cell. And by double clicking on cell A4, in this case, we see that we have a formula. And the formula is the sum of A1 through A3.